What's up guys and welcome back to another replay cast. Today we have something just a little bit different. We've gone into the tournament archives and we are bringing to you a series of games between Flash and Jaedong. So this was the World Cyber Games semi-final, which was played in June of 2010. This is game one of the best of three. We're on match point. And if you're watching game one on a Sunday, for example, then I will release game two on Monday and game three on Tuesday. Okay, so that's kind of the plan. So we're not going to do it as one giant video. We'll do it spread over three. And the reason I've done this is that, well, for several reasons. Flash playing his final ASL now, Jaedong just being at the absolute peak of his powers. I thought it would just be unreal to watch these two at their absolute best. And I think 2010 was peak Flash for sure. And Jaedong was just absolutely unreal at this time. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen this game in isolation once or twice already. And that's not really the point here though. The point is just to celebrate and enjoy the best that I've ever done it. And so that's why I've decided to bring this. And I will also be doing a best of five series between Flash and Bisu quite soon. That was played in 2016. So the details and when that comes out should follow shortly. And game one between these two is going to be quite fun because Flash is opening mech here on match point. It's been interesting because match point's obviously had a little resurgence, returning onto the ladder. And here it is now also being used in tournaments, and it was being used back in 2010 for this tournament as well. So I'm actually looking forward to this game and this showcase. So I'm just priding myself on being a variety Broodwar caster, so bringing to you all sorts of different games from different eras. So we're doing past, present, and you can't do future. You can only actually ever do past and present, but some of the archive stuff as well as some of the current stuff. Always trying to bring you guys something different, something enjoyable. And I think there's always a nostalgia element to going back and watching the best games ever. It's quite unreal that it actually loads in the remastered client. Like, I find that quite incredible that it still works so well. So that is very, very cool. Just want to say a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel recently. Really enjoying a massive wave of growth and support in the channel, and that's always really, really appreciated. If you do enjoy today's video and you just like my vibe, I would appreciate it if you joined our tribe and subscribed as well. Always hit that like button if you can. It helps discovery. And that's it, man. We've got some Jaedonglings in the house. We've got Flash Marines doing Flash Marine things. I'm just adjusting the volume in my headset again because the music is coming through a little bit loud. But otherwise, I think it is all going to be a hunky-dory fun game. Our first Vulture shows himself, so there's no secrets here. Jaedong's going to know exactly what he's up against. And we will progress now. Flash expanding. Jaedong did have a preemptive creep, but hasn't converted that yet. And he's going to get his Spire, and we're probably going to get some Mutalisk Harassment. The normal kind of things. You want the Sunken to block the Vulture run by. It's interesting to see if he just walls in here to protect his drones. Flash might try and run by, or might research Vulture Speed as one of his first upgrades. And that can become potentially painful. So let's see what he does here now. Okay, so nothing yet. So we're floating our racks to get a bit of vision. We are making a second factory. And it's probably going to be Goliath. It's interesting because while we've gone back to, 16 years in the past today, I've got recent games of Flash against Sulky where he is opening mech against, really, really good Zergs with mixed results. But it's definitely a build that some can make look incredibly scary, Flash being one of them. I think the Zerg players have gotten pretty good at responding to it though. So Charon boosters on the way, eBay on the way, turrets on the way. So this build is an incredibly old build. It hasn't really been modified or tweaked all that much. And the Zergs nowadays, I think, are just even probably sharper at responding to it than what Jaedong would have been back in 2010. So we're getting our first bunker up. Interesting to get the bunker here, but I suppose it does, with any units coming here, give him a little bit of protection. I expect a couple of turrets to support the Goliaths as well. Will likely be the case. We'll have to just have a look at that. Another hatch. So a macro hatchery. 2.5 hatch spire. With mutas on the way. There we go. Here come our first mutas. Excuse the wobbly dobbly hand. We haven't even had any wine yet, and it's a Friday afternoon. How crazy is that? So time of recording, by the way, it is the 2nd of April. ASL round 24 is now behind us, and the round of 16 is happening quite soon. I don't know why my mouse keeps doing that. I apologize to you guys again. So Jaedong and Flash are both at this stage of the game looking incredibly good. Imagine a world where I unknowingly cast this game as a tribute to these two, and they end up matching each other in one of the rounds in ASL. Wouldn't that be unreal? Like a semi-final between these two in 2026 versus a semi-final of these two in 2010, hey? Wouldn't that just be something to behold, considering just the longevity and tenure in the game? Would just be, yeah, would just be really, really cool. So for all I know, if this is coming out in May, it might already have happened, in which case it'll just be the most brilliant and beautiful coincidence. And if it hasn't, it hasn't. But I think it would just be amazing for the OGs. So what I call the OGs are Bisu, Flash, and Jaedong, right? So for any of those three to be in the top 4 would be really, really good for the game. And Bisu was in the top 4 last year, so it would just be a case of again. All right, so the Mutalisk Harassment is yielding a decent amount of fruit, but Flash, I think, has got a pretty decent contingent of Goliaths to do what needs to be done here. It's also getting Starport, so his progression to Science Vessel to try and fend off and make the mutas less effective does seem to be the plan in terms of his tech progression. Taking him another base here on the back of the map control that the little bit of Mutalisk Harassment affords him. And I expect we could see some upgrades starting and a Hydra Den. Yeah, so he's getting his Hydralisk upgrades. So kind of doing what's coached or advised. This is very good game sense from Flash. Like unbelievable game sense. Picking off a couple of drones. It's always been an incredible strength of his game. It's just harassment and getting value with vultures. So Hydras have shown themselves for the first time, and this is the sort of the recommended approach. I like this wall in. It does unfortunately let one vulture with very minimal hit points in. It's not going to stop him killing a drone though. If he's going to get 2 drones here, no. That drone got the kill. Really good micro from Flash. But again, probing here with his vultures and getting some profitable exchanges here. Definitely slowing down Jaedong's drone growth. Very, very nice. So some Muta Hydras combined. Oh my god, mines. Oh no. I think you could almost see Jaedong thinking out loud there going, maybe that's not the best option. Let's get some Overlord speed. Amazing micro again from Flash. Do we have Overlord speed? No, we do not. We're going to need it soon though. Yeah, now he's getting fast Overlords. Yep, immediate response to the impact of the mines. And this is buying Flash so much time. Don't think he's expanding to or planning to take a third. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, that was probably the catalyst for him to take his third base, and seems like that's going to be his plan. Also moving out a few Goliaths here to put some pressure on. So some Slydras, which is Hydras with slow Overlord support. Uh-oh. Oh, actually popped up and caught it mid-go. Looks like we're going to do another run by here. 1 drone, 2 drones. So trades 2 vultures that have already laid their mines, although this one still has to have 1 mine in hand. There we go. For a couple of vultures and drones. No upgrades yet, but plenty of upgrades are on the way. Some additional turrets as well being made by Flash. Probably just to establish his third, which he will put where? Here? Let's actually see where he's going to land that third base. Yeah, he's just built it here. He's going to land it here, I presume. Yeah, they're still running around the map, making a nuisance of themselves, as they do. Fourth base coming up for Jaedong. And we're definitely building up to quite the macro tussle between these two superstars. So now with Overlord's speed in play, we can now pick off our mines and therefore obviously reduce the vision for Flash on the map, as well as the damage that tripping mines can do. Jaedong doesn't seem to be willing to attack anywhere though. He has just established his third here as Flash. Overlord comes in to confirm. And I think he might not get out. He's going to get away with a handful of hit points. Siege tanks as well being sprinkled into this. I think Flash likes to do that. Even today, you see his mech builds transition into tank play quite a lot. And we are just massing up Hydras here. +1 attack for our Hydra units for the time being. Nice little choke point hold up here as well. So you shouldn't get much done with the Sunken and the Hydras choking this up. So going to get a bit of a flank on these vultures as well. Picking up a few more mines. And looks like he's gearing up for an engagement here. 140 plays 122. Army supplies though should be relatively even because of the worker differential. And we could well see a little bit of a dive on here. We'll just get a vantage point of what exactly it is it looks like Jaedong wants to try and do here. And we do have our first vessels in the game, so the meters are keeping themselves safe for the time being. So are we going to dive bomb here or not? There's the question. Again, another command center here, Flash. It doesn't seem to be afraid to expand to a fourth base location. And I think if he does, this is going to be a very, very difficult game for Jaedong. For sure. Alrighty. So kind of just posing. Sending in some Hydras here to protect against vultures. So just keep an eye on the mini-map to see if we can find any potential areas. Is he going to get a drone here? He is. Just one though. And has managed to establish the space. I think he might leave 1 or 2 Hydras behind here potentially. A couple of Scourge as well to attack the vessels. Looks like Flash wants to move out here though. So there's Hydras that were kind of just poised here. I think Flash likes his opportunity here. Critical mass. This is a scary fight. That is a terrifying amount of mech. Holy crap and holy. Run, Jaedong, run! I don't know what you're running for in terms of a brighter tomorrow, but that fight does not look optimal. Even dematrix some Goliaths, bro. Like, who's got time for that? Seriously. So +2 attack on the Hydras. And we have 2-1 mechanical. Fourth base still not yet established, but that does definitely seem to be the plan. I don't know if Jaedong wants to move in here. God damn, that is a lot of turrets. Holy crap and holy. So we're floating in our command center, laid a few mines, made a turret. This does seem to have triggered a bit of a move out from Flash, from Jaedong. It's got a lot of tanks. Goodbye, Overlord. A lot of mines here too. So, what is the plan and where is the opening, right? That's the question. Seems to be it here. Here we go. Nope, not quite. We've got a radiate on our muters. And holy cow, man. I mean, how are you going to get any cut through? I guess the flank was the idea, but it's... okay. It's getting on top of a lot of the tanks. And Flash still, though, stays in the lead. But I guess this was probably as good as Jaedong could have hoped for this to have gone. It's just carcass after carcass after carcass. But yeah, supplies are pretty equal. So that as a trade, fair enough. Fair enough. Basically emptied his house there. And Flash was definitely a little stressed there for a moment, but held on tight. And will continue with his 3-2 mech, in my opinion, to scale and become very hard to stop. So move some tanks in here, and with a bit of spotting, these drones, there you go, hits the scanner, go off. And that's sunken, and these drones are in a lot of danger. So this is going to force the engagement from Jaedong. Here he comes from both sides. In from the top, in from the side. This is a huge surround. And I think he's going to get all of these tanks here. So Flash forced the engagement, and Jaedong said, yeah, sure, let's go. No worries. Very nicely held. And for the first time in the entire game, Jaedong actually goes into the lead. And he may just press advantage here to try and press this base, although the mines are going to slow him down, but I think that's what his plan is. Up he goes. No Overlord with us though, and he knows, you can see how quickly he paused there, but uh-oh, we're going to trip some mines. We're going to trip some mines. Lots of mines. Trying to pilfer this science vessel. And actually got a bit further up here than what I thought he would, although that mine drag was... in a word, vicious. And Flash holds on there nicely. What an insanely good game. Another base here established. These bases on match point are really hard to hold, and there aren't a lot of bases on this map, so it's kind of like you've got to make hay while the sun shines, I guess. This is mined out. This is on its way. This is newly established. He's got 2 mining bases. Jaedong's got 1, 2, 3 mining bases. Oh, the vision on and off doesn't work, guys. Just so you know. Maybe because of the replay age. Not sure. But that is interesting. See, I can't... because of on-game net, I can't switch off his vision. Oh well. We did try. A couple of vultures coming to do some annoying things. If I switch off on-game net... ah, that does work then. Okay. Yeah, now I can see what he's scanning. Okay, well that was a good lesson. Good to know. Good to know, good to know. So you got to switch off the observer's vision as well. Cool. Whoopsie. Is that popping through the nidus? It sure was. Bit of harassment here, but so many sunkens. Really not much to be achieved. Sent through heaps of hydras to be sure. So 139 versus 136. This game, in a word, has been close, and it has been really, really beautiful back and forth. Question is, though, how do you break? And do you need to break is the question. If you've got this base and you've got this base, if you're Zerg and you mine this and this and this and this, do you just have more money and therefore win? You know, just on a basic macroeconomic premise, assuming the same or similar upgrades. 3-1. That's the question. Just scanning to see where his army is. Looks like he's moving in here again, but not with everything. And this is kind of attacking into an entrenched position against tanks. No matter what race you're playing, that's never, almost ever a good idea. Alright, so now Flash moving in here to put a bit of pressure on. And I think this is again going to force the engagement. Lots of these tanks are out of range though, so I think he could get some meaningful trades. But once he goes to the high ground with no flank, I don't think it can go well. I mean, this is fully upgraded mechanical terrain here, guys. And Jaedong's running the risk now of getting stuck. He's bringing some Dark Swarm and some Lurkers into the equation now in the late game. Interesting mix of units. So does burrow his Lurkers here. So I think the role of the vessels is going to be to irradiate these bad boys. There's actually irradiate a Hydra. And another Hydra. And scans the army. More reinforcements on the way. So it's almost maxed out both players. Are we going to drop on top? We sure are. Wow. Okay, so we're dropping cracklings, we're dark swarming, we are Dorito clouding, and we're going to probably try and move our lurkers into position here to penetrate this tank line further still. Flash is holding firm here under this pressure, but the lurkers now move into position. This mine could be a beautiful thing. Oh dear, wow, that was so close. He's going to hold off this lurker. That was actually a very, very nice idea from Jaedong to drop. And he's going to pick up a decent number of SCVs and forces a lift off here too. I think Flash was maybe trying to establish this base. Because this... yeah, this command center is brand new. So obviously he's trying to wrestle this base from Jaedong. Have you guys noticed that Flash has floated money for quite a lot of this mid to late game? It's quite interesting. Beautiful Dark Swarm play again. Getting Lings on top of everything. Forcing a retreat. All he needs now is to throw down some storms. But of course he's not... doesn't have that in his arsenal. Perhaps a plague on these tanks would be quite delightful. Who knows? Just scanning to see the army movements again. 174 plays 169. What a game. The best to ever do it, guys. The absolute best to ever do it. Oh my god, he's going to try and get all these vessels. And he does. Holy crap-a-noli. Every vessel goes down. That is insane. And once again, the supplies are getting so close. But the tanks, bro. The tanks. 3 tanks. The stuff that nightmares are made of for many a Brood War player. Here we go. We're going to try and take down all these Sunkens. And if Flash can get this base, which is clearly his intention, not that there's that many mineral patches left, that is going to be a big difference maker. So we see the drones going down. He cannot take this head on at the moment. Needs to regroup his army, which does seem to kind of be concentrated here. Another drop seems to be the plan. Here we go. Okay, so we can hear the consume as well. Just laying mines. So here it comes, but he's going to lose so many of these overlords to Goliaths. It's gonna... did he plague as well? He sure did. And look at the number of Dark Swarms. Lurkers, Lings... but he didn't get anything on the tanks directly. Or, I beg your pardon, that's not true. The Lurkers have managed to get on top of the tank line here. And needs to move these Lurkers and throw down another Dark Swarm ideally. The Goliath's tanking back is really helping because it's killing some of these Lings before they can get on top of the tanks. And I don't think Jaedong's going to be able to hold this position. And so now Flash is starting to move into a serious lead. Flash also pressuring this position with some tanks, and now Jaedong is going to become spread too thin, I'm afraid. So sending a few units in here to try and clean up these tanks, but the Goliaths providing reinforcements, and the mines that have been laid here are slowing everything down. Holy crap, the number of mines and the trips. So I think with the sighting provided by these vessels, that's over, and he's actually established this base, well, just about. So Flash has managed to deny and destroy 2 critical sources of income for Jaedong, and I think that's going to be enough to get him over the line in game 1. What an unbelievable tussle this was. So yeah, Jaedong's basically got less than 75 supply. He's been very well beaten by Mech. Very nice strategy from Flash. He held the initial waves, superior upgrades, strong macro, and that's going to be more than enough to get the job done here. Just about got rid of this creep, so should be able to establish this. Just scanning here all the time. So it makes one last stand. If he trips a mine here, it could be juicy. Oh, beautiful. There's plenty more of additional Flash though. You can see when it's a semi-final or a final, the players don't GG out quickly. They will give a valiant effort to the very, very end, which is what you want to see, of course. I think this is going to be the kill shot. That vulture seemed to just glide there. That was unreal, man. Very good, though. So a very comprehensive game, game 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do give me a like on the video if this was something that that you watched. It was just an unreal game. Like, the quality on display, so good. These 2 legends and legends for a reason. The other reason to subscribe is that you'll be notified of when game 2 comes out, which will be tomorrow. And be prepared, guys, because that game, in my opinion, is the best game of Brood War that has ever been played. So I've set the scene, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching. Bye.